What's going on YouTube? Culturedog Sam Hatch back here with another Laserdisc video. Much delayed. I apologize for being absent for pretty much the entire month of November. And I do promise I'm going to be dropping some more videos. It's been a little rough lately, working a ton of overtime, etc. So that's, of course, chopping into my ability to edit my videos. So I've got at least 10 reviews, spotlight review videos already in the hopper. And it's just finding the time to make that all happen. But I do promise it's going to happen. Also going to put up a, well, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I'm going to put up something to kind of celebrate almost hitting 2,000 subs. And then it's also my channelversary. So I owe a good channelversary video too, because it's been 2 years since I've started doing this on the YouTubes. Yeah, so let's get right into some Laserdiscs. It's been a little tight lately, so I haven't been picking up a lot of stuff. But some kind of benefactors on the internet, in particular the Laserdisc Forever page on Facebook, which I do recommend if you are a fan of Laserdisc, head on over there, put in a request to get added. It's a private group, but just say that you know Culturedog, and then that'll probably put you under intense scrutiny for another 2 weeks. But then they will eventually approve you, and then you can run rampant through there. But it's a great way to find other like-minded collectors and to do, transactions without dealing with eBay fees and all sorts of nonsense like that. It's just, peer-to-peer via PayPal and all that stuff. So you can get a lot of great discs out there. But anyways, there was one kind gentleman who had a disc that was plaguing him, essentially. It's a cool Japanese import, but nobody wanted it. And he had been trying to pimp it out, numerous sales, and nobody was biting. And he asked me if I was a fan of the artist, and I was like, yeah, obviously. So he said he was just going to go ahead and send me this disc. And in the meantime, he had a little mini sale and had a few other things that were up for offer. And some of them were some cool commons that I'd actually been wanting to get. So I got a small lot, just, 4 or so discs. But one of them was a release from, it's not really that late. It's 98. The film's from 97. But I cannot say I've ever seen a copy of this in person. It's just something that, you don't really find in lots or anything, but it's from director Barbet Schroeder, who did Kiss of Death, which I was a big fan of. There was the remake with Nick Cage and David Caruso. This one's got Andy Garcia and Michael Keaton. Really, really sharp graphics on the cover, which is in great shape too. But Desperate Measures. So I'm looking forward to checking this out. I remember seeing the trailers for this back when it dropped, and never got a chance to check it out. So now I finally will. It is Columbia TriStar, so that means it's pressed by DADC, but I checked it out and it is rot free, believe it or not. So yeah, really excited to have that. So very cool. And the other common that I was super hyped up about getting is something you can find just about anywhere, but it's just one of these things I've been looking for, and preferably in good condition. It's not really that amazing, but back in the day, this was kind of the show-off demo disc du jour. The film was 89. This disc came out in 1990. But I'm talking about Steven Spielberg's Always. Story about a maxi pad gone rogue. No, I'm just kidding. It's got Richard Dreyfuss and John Goodman as bush pilots who put out wildfires, and Holly Hunter as the woman who loves their wild spirit. But it had a lot of great scenes with the planes dropping water on the fires, and I remember going to Sears in particular back in the day, and they had a demo room loaded with, I think, a bunch of junky tiny Bose cubes or something, but playing this just simple Dolby matrixed, ProLogic decoded surround sound track. And I just remember sitting there and just getting blown away by it. I mean, everyone's still got demo rooms. You can go into Best Buy and check on the Magnolia rooms and everything, but I don't know, there's something about those like early 90s demo rooms. And even before, I mean, it really ties in with the love of a Laserdisc for me. I remember tripping across Flash Gordon being played on a big 3-gun CRT monstrosity in the early 80s and just falling in love with it, even though it looked horrible. And then later on, watching this in Sears, just getting knocked out by the sound quality of things flying above me. I remember tripping across a great demo of Bram Stoker's Dracula, the kind of end scene with the horse and carriage chase going down on I think it was a Sony player, It was a double-sided Sony player, too. That was like the first time I had ever checked out a double-sided Laserdisc player in person. I was like, sick. So I don't even know what model that was. Probably like an MDP, 600 or something like that, maybe even 800. But I remember just getting blown away by that Circuit City demo room. And so this is my chance to finally cash in on that dream and get a nice letterboxed copy of Always. So that was cool. And he also mentioned that he was going to throw in a freebie. I was hoping I didn't have it already. Just a random giveaway. And sadly, I did have a copy, so I'll end up paying it forward if somebody else wants to get it. But it is a flick from, let's see, 97 is when this came out, so 96 is when the film was released. But it's an indie flick from the 90s, directed by Steve Buscemi, also written by Trees Lounge. And I have not seen this since, when I first picked up on Laserdisc in a while. But it's typical kind of mid-90s fare where it's got a very, like, post-Tarantinoid cast. Of course, Samuel L. Jackson has to be in something like this. And Chloe Sevigny, Mark Boone Jr. in there as well, too, but Daniel Baldwin. It's very, languid, and there's no real major arc. But if you like stuff like Station Agent or something like that, you should dig it. Steve Buscemi plays this lovable loser. So yeah, Trees Lounge, cool flick. And then the disc that started this whole rigmarole, it is a Japanese import, and I don't think there's an American counterpart to this. And I thought there was going to be a little bit, for some reason, overlap between this and another disc I have from the same artist, but there isn't. This is actually all stuff I never had before on disc, but it is called CV, or Curriculum Vitae, for Peter Gabriel. And this was released in the wake of his album So, and I've never had this on VHS or Laserdisc. So it's got a lot of good stuff leading up to that point. Not too much from the Melt album, though it does have I Don't Remember, though I do believe the audio from that is from the Peter Gabriel live album and not the studio one. And Games Without Frontiers is missing, but there is also another track from Security, Shock the Monkey, on there. So a couple of tracks that are non-so, and then two different versions of Don't Give Up, and of course the MTV heavy hitters Big Time and Sledgehammer with some animation by the brothers Quay, Aardman Animation, etc. And really cool stuff. Pushed the envelope of music videos, etc. And for all the acclaim dropped on Big Time and Sledgehammer, I still, Shock the Monkey is still some tough stuff to beat. And I don't remember really presages a lot of the stuff they did in it, but just the makeup and the locale, the sets and everything like that, it's very Brazil, but before Brazil in a couple moments. And it's just way cool stuff. I'm super psyched to have this on Laserdisc, and made me think about how awesome Red Rain was, so I had to crank that album up in the car that week. So many thanks to my man, you know him, you love him, Moiki, for hooking that up. Shout out to Moiki! So I thought that was going to be it for this Laserdisc update, but then one other benefactor from out there in the ether, the inter-aether, came flying at me with this other offer. He had tripped across a honey hole of DTS Laserdiscs that were just dropped off at a local Goodwill for him, and he loaded up on about 30 or so of those suckers, and some really cool titles. But he knew in particular that I've been collecting the James Bond Laserdisc series, and that I did need one DTS release. And he happened to find a copy of Goldeneye DTS. And of course, we always joke on the Laserdisc Forever page about how Goldeneye, the AC3 letterboxed edition, is so rare because you can find it with just about every lot out there, alongside Jurassic Park and Braveheart, etc. But a DTS copy of Goldeneye, not as easy to find. Came out a little bit after. What year was this release? 95, 97, it looks like this Laserdisc came out. So yeah, a little bit after the AC3 version. But the cool thing is it's got the special edition, the special features on here, including the World of 007 Elizabeth Hurley features. So they don't really rip you off on any of that stuff, which is very nice. So I'm dying to check this out and get a bit of a rumble. The AC3 version is notorious for having a really overbaked, heavy-duty LFE track, and I think this one's a little bit more mixed, more moderately. Though if you love the extra bombacity brought to you by that AC3 track, I mean, you might think this is like a little bit more wanting in bass, but I'm still intrigued to hear it and really get a feel for all that stuff flying over my head in 5.1. Really dying to check this out. The Tomorrow Never Dies disc is amazing, so this one's going to be, I'm guessing, equally as awesome. But mega thanks to my man, Peter Biancardi, for finding this sucker and hooking my brother up with it. So yes, shout out to Peter! So that's it for now, just 5 discs, sorry, relatively small. Like I said, I've been forced to behave for a little bit. And of course, as always, I've got a Japanese shipment on its way to me right now, bobbing up and down somewhere in the middle of the ocean. And it's going to be a really cool one because there's some anime releases in there. There's some, of course, James Bond releases in there. And there's some music video releases in there too. So it's going to be a real cool cornucopia of Japanese Laserdiscs. And I already have an order building up some other stuff too. So there'll be some scattered incoming presents from the Far East soon. It'll be very cool. And like I said, I've got about 10 or so review videos clogging up the arteries of my hard drive, so I have to get those out to you. A lot of Blu-ray stuff, some Laserdisc stuff. I promised people for a long time to do a spotlight review of the 7 Criterion set, so that's actually finally happening. And all sorts of stuff. And yes, I am always dying to get the next episodes of Laserdisc Essentials out there for you. That one takes a little bit more care, and I do apologize for the extremely long wait for that one. I also had a setback with a ton of great footage for a maintenance video that just got lost, which was a very sorrowful day when that happened. But we're pulling through. We're going to make some stuff happen, and I'm trying to make up for the lack of videos in November for the month of December. So keep your eyes peeled and keep an eye on the channel. And thanks to everybody for subscribing and for commenting. And I always have a good time just hashing out all the wonders of Laserdisc and Blu-ray and home theater and movies, etc. down below after I'm done posting the videos. So you guys make it worthwhile, and yeah, hopefully you can power through some of these gaps while I'm trying to get my act together. But anyways, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for checking out these Laserdiscs with me, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers!